What's going?
Hey, what's
Yes,
going on,
yes.
man?
New Year, man. What's going on with you, man?
Welcome
Everybody,
back.
we are back. Welcome back to the channel. You know, it's Cam and Dan, and we back, man. Happy New Year, my dude.
Happy New Year, man. Happy 2021. Hopefully this year brings tremendous blessings. It's gonna be a wonderful time. And yeah, we're just getting started. This is January 16th, recorded January 16th. And we just had a big kickoff in championship boxing with Ryan Garcia knocking out Luke Campbell. Knocking out Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell of Great Britain, of Hull City here in Great Britain, against Ryan Garcia of Victorville, California, in a lightweight contendership match. The winner was mandated to fight for the WBC World Lightweight Championship, held by Devin the Dream Haney of Hendersonville, Nevada. Devin the Dream. I like Ryan. What's my take?
What's your take on that 130 division, that 135 division? Pardon me.
135 division. So 135 division, the lightweight division, and 61 kg in Great Britain. I think just a little bit over. In my opinion, it's a great division. You know, it's a great division stacked with talent, stacked with television talent, marketable talent, popular talent as well. You've got Gervonta Tank Davis, the WBA champion, super champion. You've got Rolando Romero, the WBA interim champion. You've got Devin the Dream Haney, the WBC champion, and you've got the Kingpin, who is the undisputed champion, Teofimo Lopez, the WBO, IBF, the WBA super and champion, Teofimo Lopez. But you also have some great contenders in Ryan King Garcia, and you have the veteran former champion, Vasilio Lomachenko of Ukraine. And so Teofimo Lopez of Brooklyn, New York, Gervonta Tank Davis of Baltimore, Maryland. You've got a plethora of tremendous fighters, and it's going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. To see them guys. What's going to happen in the future? Who's going to be the kingpin? Right now, Teofimo Lopez is the king, and they're both very young. All of them are very, very young as well.
None of these guys are over. I don't think none of these guys are over 24 years of age.
Nah. The only one that you might get the oldest is Rolly, but most of these guys are so young. But yeah,
So I mean, you keep mentioning Rolly, but nobody else is mentioning Rolly. I mean, the top four right now that everybody's talking about, of course, is Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, but Rolly's got a belt. Ryan Garcia doesn't have a belt.
Yeah, he does. He has like the WBC interim or silver, or he got one of them WCB belts.
He's the mandate, It's that he doesn't have a real world championship belt. He
doesn't, but he has one of them interim belts. And just like Tank has a WBA interim belt at lightweight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying with all these belts. You have too many of these. You got the silvers, the interim, the gold, the bronze. It's too many belts, and I think that's what's confusing a lot of people.
No, I don't pay attention to those belts, but now that you're right about,
But I mean, with the top four right now, I mean, you got Ryan Garcia, and I'm saying, I'm not ranking him as in terms of skills. I'm ranking him in terms of marketing, because Ryan Garcia right now, that was my first time watching Ryan Garcia fight against Luke Campbell, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because every time I used to hear Ryan Garcia's name, I used to just hear about how many followers he had on Instagram, and I'm like, that's not boxing.
Yeah.
But right now, you got to put him number one, because he's the one that's marketing everything. Because now, he have all these followers, of like 7 million followers or something like that, and he starts mentioning Tank's name. He starts mentioning Teofimo Lopez's name, Devin Haney's name. That gives his followers, they want to find out, okay, well, who is this Tank guy? Who is this Teofimo? Who is this Devin Haney guy? So, like, in terms of marketing, he has to be like, on top of the list, because he has more popularity than the rest of these guys. You know what I mean? But in terms of skill-wise, I don't think he can beat those three right now, because he has the hand speed and the boxing ability, but he lacks foot speed and foot movement. He's a flat-footed fighter. And those three guys right now, they can move. They'll use angles. They'll come off of him, and I think they'll beat him. And I just think that right now, with Canelo's trainer, Ryan, is it Reynoso?
Eddie Reynoso.
Eddie Reynoso. I think he will get better. He's going to get better the same way, Canelo got better.
Yeah.
He keeps saying with Eddie Reynoso, Ryan will get better. But for right now, I don't see him being able to beat those guys. And then another thing too is that we got other guys at the division nobody really mentions, like Lomachenko still there. You got Richard Comey still there. You still got Linares. You still got Javier Fortuna. You know what I'm saying? These guys could give some of these young guys.
And Felix Verdejo as well.
Yeah, these guys. I don't know about Felix, man. After his last fight, man, did you see his last fight on ESPN?
Yeah, that was the big one. Yeah, you like that fight?
Yeah, he lost that fight. He got knocked out.
He lost that fight.
He lost that fight. He fought the same dude that he fought the Japanese dude that Teofimo Lopez fought. I think in early 2019, and he lost that fight. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he lost that fight. Yeah. But you still got you still got some other veterans in that 135. But right now, those 4 guys, their names on the top of the list because their names is being mentioned the most. But out of those 4, Tank could throw a monkey wrench into everything because Tank's last fight was at 130.
Yeah.
And he's the WBA champion at 130. So if he has a mandatory at 130, he would either have to fight the mandatory or vacate the belt. And
I think he would. I feel like with his age, I think he can stay at 130. He still has time to go back up to 135 if he can make 130. If I was Tank, if he can make 130, and you've got very economic options at 130, lucrative options at 130, for example, such as meeting Abner Mares again.
I thought Abner Mares retired. I think Abner Mares retired. With the eye. Remember his eye? I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I know he had surgery with the eye. I know he had the surgery, the situation in the eye, but he retired?
Yeah, I think he would. I think. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. We'll look into it. But yeah,
I'm looking into it right now.
He's got a lot of gold and to find in there's a lot of gold rush opportunities at 130 pounds, and he's got Jamel Herring, he's got Miguel Bichel, and he's got Shakur Stevenson if that fight can happen at 130. But yeah, Tank is in no rush. Tank is in no rush at 130. But if we're talking about solid 130 and guys who seldom can make 130, if we talk about solid 135 and guys who aren't really going to go down to that super featherweight division, Teofimo Lopez, Devin the Dream Haney, King Ryan Garcia, and Rolando Romero. And in my opinion, who in 3 years, when all this is said and done, I do believe that you aren't going to see Rolly as a champion. I definitely believe that. Rolly can beat Vasilio Lomachenko. Rolly can beat Tank Davis. Rolly's going to be, it can and kind of did, but, is sparring, so you can never tell, beat Ryan Garcia. And I do believe on his best night, Rolly can beat Teofimo Lopez. I do believe Rolly is and a lot of people are still hung up on his last fight, but everyone has bad nights. But the thing is, you have to remember, coming from where he's come from, he's got so little experience. He is challenging for the world interim crown after 12, 11 fights, little amateur experience as well. So he wasn't there as much. All these 12 fights aren't like back to back to back. These 12 fights are spread out over, I think he's been pro now for 4 years, 5 years maybe, unless I'm mistaken. So I do believe that, he's still on his learning, he's still on his come up. So I do believe when it's all said and done, he will be champion. He will be the undisputed lightweight champion of the world.
I think by the time he does get to that stage, those guys will be long gone. Those guys will probably be in another division.
I don't think it's too far.
Teofimo might go to 140. Like, these guys might go to 140 before they even really get a chance to even fight these guys. And I don't. And a lot of people will judge Rolly from his last performance and will say no, that he can't beat these guys.
Well, that's looking at the past.
You know what I mean?
If you always look at the past, and people aren't really gonna. If you looked at Floyd Mayweather's fight, his first fight against Jose Luis Castillo, you wouldn't think that this guy's going to be touted as one of the greatest fighters of all time. If you looked at his fight against Emmanuel Augustus in Kobo, you wouldn't think that this guy, you think it's Floyd Mayweather's flash in the pants. Other than this, it's not going to be someone sooner or later is going to expose him.
Yeah, true, but but here's the thing, though. Like Floyd Mayweather had that backing with his dad and his uncle. If they wasn't gonna let that happen, does Rolly have that backing in his corner to not let that happen to him?
Funny, coincidentally, he signed with Mayweather Promotions. So and he's been training. He's been doing a lot of training with Floyd. He's been Floyd is obviously Floyd has been doing this training thing now for a while. Tutoring young fighters, Tank included, Devin Haney included, and one of them also included is Rolly Romero. So it's funny enough you mentioned that. He's actually coincidentally. He's got that backing, that Mayweather backing. Hopefully it's good sound teaching, and Floyd. A lot of people do say this and that about him guiding young fighters. He'll only guide them to a certain point, but won't let them snap because he doesn't want them to overtake him. But I do believe it's sound wisdom either way. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. And I don't think keep in mind, he's interim champion. There's only so many times he can defend that championship belt. He's fighting as well. And very, very soon, they just released the card.
He's fighting next weekend.
Yeah. He's fighting
He's fighting next weekend. That's a big card at 122. I forgot the guys that are fighting. It's a big card at 122.
And there's only so many times that you can defend the interim championship belt until you're actually touted to go up against the world championship. So if we're talking from a WBA standpoint, he's a WBA interim champion. Tank Davis is the regular champion, and Teofimo Lopez is the super champion. So I say he can fight Tank Davis, he can fight Teofimo Lopez, but now the annoying thing is his politics is now in the way with Teofimo Lopez obviously at Bob Arum's, the old man's Top Rank Incorporated, and
that is for the Rolly's fighting on the undercard, and it's gonna be Angelo Leo versus Stephen Fulton. That's the main event, and Rolly's on the undercard of that fight next weekend, the 23rd.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's a good Mayweather card, but the thing is, will Floyd Mayweather let his fight Gervonta Davis? You know what I'm saying?
It's not gonna happen.
I don't think it's gonna, and it's annoying the fact that it's not. I don't think it's unless Tank vacates. What could happen is Tank vacates the 135 belt, stays at lightweight, and then Rolly becomes the full WBA interim and regular champion, and then eventually leading up to a Teofimo Lopez. But then again, by that time, the thing is, Teofimo Lopez and Rolly are good friends. They're very good friends. So whether that fight happens or not, I'm not sure. But I do feel like Rolly has to get his due. And keep in mind, the IBF and WBO belt are still held by Lopez. So like one way or another, you guys have to fight.
I think Rolly against, say, like Lee Selby out of your area, or Linares or something like that.
Linares, the villain Rolando Romero against Jorge Linares would be a tremendous fight. That would be a banging fight.
Something like that could happen.
I could make that in the arena around the world.
But right now at 135, I think the best fight that can be made would be Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, with both of them being under the zone, fighting under the zone. And with Ryan Garcia being a WBC whatever champion that he is, I can't keep up with all them other belts, man. And Devin Haney being the WBC champion. You know what I'm saying? I think that fight would be easier made. But what I would like to see, which I don't know will happen, I would like to see those four guys just fight each other. You know what I'm saying? And then
we'll see that happen.
And have rematches. Not just fight each other, but have rematches. Because I think that win, lose, or draw, it would cement all of their legacies.
Yeah,
and I think even with Tank being able to probably jump back and forth from 130 to 135, and if he could unify at 130, right, and then come up to the 135 and unify, he doesn't have to be undisputed, but at least unify.
Yeah,
That'll jump him in. I don't know if he's in pound for pound right now, but that would definitely jump in the pound for pound if he can go back and forth. And I mean, he has the ability to, or he has to do is stay disciplined. Fight wise, like his skill wise and everything like that. I don't.
That fight with
I'm not worrying about Tank with that. I'm just worrying about his discipline and making weight. If he's disciplined enough and he can make 130, beat somebody at 130, snatch up another belt, come up to 135, snatch another belt, go back down to 130. That would be crazy.
That would be good for him. That'd be 100% good for him. And and Tank Davis, is so exciting, such a great fighter. Tank Davis, is excitement personified. Two of the most exciting fights in the past few months have been, one, Anthony Joshua, and two, Tank Davis, with Leo Santa Cruz. It was excitement personified. I remember, because I wanted him to win. And Leo Santa Cruz was doing a tremendous, tremendous job, but Tank Davis was also doing a tremendous job on his part, not to get deterred, not to lose heart, but he was coming in, that's what boxing was all about. You know what I'm saying? No one was afraid of the other, and no one was getting deterred by the other's success. Tank would have his moments, and Leo Santa Cruz would come back and have his moments, and then Tank just, boom, at the end, that
knockout was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Beautiful.
So what's your predictions for the year 2021? Like fight wise, like just outside of 135. Like we've been talking about 135, but outside of 135, like what would you like to see?
So what do I like to see? So I do believe first going, let's start at the top. I do believe that AJ will fight Fury twice this year. Those guys have been making those deals solidified. AJ will fight Fury twice this year. And so I believe those fights will happen. They're not going to lose that apple cart. Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford won't fight this year. I believe that will happen next year. And I believe Billy Joe Saunders will fight Canelo Alvarez this year. Definitely will fight Canelo Alvarez later this year. Maybe Cinco de Mayo weekend. That definitely will happen. Bud Crawford might fight someone from PBC. Keith One-Time Thurman was going on went on a pipe bomb about Bob Arum, and he said that he lowballed him and off, but he also said that Bud Crawford might be leaving his stable. Would that be smart for Bud? It would be smart for Bud to do, but would it be? It would be good because at least that time in the build up to the Spence Bud Crawford fight, it would give him some more opponents, because if they're not going to get this, these political grievances aside, the old man and the Godfather, Al Haymon is, the boss of all bosses. So if they're not going to get the political grievances out of the way, it's better that Bud Crawford jump ship and let Al Haymon handle the welterweight division, just like the zone handles the middleweight division, just like Bob Arum handles and that side, the old man handles the lightweight division, and the super featherweight division. So I wouldn't mind if Bud Crawford moves to PBC, and that'll be great for him. Tremendous amount of money, tremendous potential. Crawford versus Porter, Crawford versus Thurman, Crawford versus Garcia, Crawford versus Ugas, and then leading up to Crawford versus Pacquiao or Crawford versus Spence. I think you're going to see Spence versus Pacquiao this year. In my opinion, you might see Spence versus Pacquiao. But,
I want to kind of say something about that. I find it very funny that you can make Tyson Fury and Wilder fight top rank PBC, more money involved than it would be with the welterweight, but yet you can't get the welterweights to fight.
I believe it's also with the welterweights, with the heavyweights. It was also from a political side, and for example, what do I mean by that? I feel like with heavyweights, one, that's a big cash hot potato. You don't want to delay that apple cart. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of eyes on that as well. And so you don't want to, when you have a lot of eyes on that, and it's a very hot, piece. What you don't want to do is you don't want to delay that piece. And there was nothing left for either fighter to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't really anything left for either fighter to do, especially when you're dealing with someone as vocal as Tyson Fury and as vocal as Bronze Bomber Wilder. So I feel like, for example, there's still a lot of other stuff for Bud Crawford to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To fight this guy. guy. But with them guys, you know, there wasn't really a lot to, you know,
Yeah, true.
Just so yeah. I feel, but that is a good point that you raised. That is a very good point that you raised. And yeah, and keep in mind, Al Heyman controls the welterweight division. So when you have control over something, you're less likely to
relinquish it.
To relinquish negotiations. But Al Heyman didn't control the heavyweight division, so he was more in a bargaining position. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. What do you think, in your opinion, of 2021? What do you think we're gonna see?
Oh
what
man,
do you think?
what I would like to see. What I would like to see. I'm gonna start from the lower weight classes and work my way up. I would like to see Rigondeaux back in the ring, maybe against a new way, if that's possible. I would like to see Gary Russell Jr. fight at least twice this year, and somebody with a formidable name.
Yeah.
So that at 130, I mean, the fights that I would like to see is already going to happen. You know, you got Oscar Valdez fighting Miguel Bichette. You got Jamel Herring fighting Carl Frampton. That's going to be great. You know, Stevenson Shakur. You know, Chris Colbert. At 135. At 135, those top fours, I want to see either one of them fight. Like, if two of them fight and we don't get the other two to fight, that'll be great for me. At 140, I would like to see that unification between Josh Taylor and, you know, Jose Ramirez. At welterweight, I want to see Jerome Boots Ennis fight a top 15 fighter at welterweight. I would like to see that.
I think he will. No, I think he will. You know what else? And I feel like he'll get snagged up as well. You know, I feel like he'll a deal.
At 154, I just want them guys to keep doing what they doing at 154, because they always fight each other. But I mean, even though nobody would like to see this fight, I would like to see Jamel fight Patrick Teixeira, just so he could get that WBO belt and be unified.
Oh yeah, I know.
He could be unified, but with the 154 division, I'm never worried about that division, man. You always gonna get to see great fights in that division. Yeah, I mean, at 160, I like to see his twin, Jamal.
Yeah,
I want to see him in there, huh?
Yeah. I feel like he might fight Eubank this year.
Either Eubanks or Demetrius Andre.
Okay. Andre his own. So you know
I think if those two guys were to fight, they're still trying. Like, it's like everybody's trying to chase Canelo, and I think if those two guys were to fight, I think that would launch them to get to Canelo.
Yeah, Canelo Alvarez.
You know what I'm saying? At 168, I want to see Canelo and Caleb Plant, or Canelo and David Benavidez.
Yeah. I see Canelo Plant maybe towards the end of the year, you know, but definitely the beginning of the year, Saunders, Canelo.
I could see Caleb Plant and Canelo at in September.
Yeah, same. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, towards the end of the year.
I like to see Arthur Benavidez and Demetrius Bivol at 175.
Yeah, that'll be a banging fight. You know.
And I would like to see. Yeah, that would be great. Like, them guys need to go at it, man. And I like to see Wilder back in the ring.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to see Wilder back in the ring, man. I want to see him back in the ring. Say that again.
You know what Essex Eddie said? He said that. Did you realize Essex Eddie released Essex Eddie Hearn, the boss of Nitrum? He released a fight schedule of some great fights. And Josh Warrington, the IBF world's featherweight champion, the IBF world champion, Josh Warrington of Leeds, is coming back. Thank God, you know, coming back to action. He missed out 2019, but he's got a sound opponent coming back in the first half. I think it's just between March. These are in March and February. And Alexander Povetkin is rematching Dillian Whyte. And Essex Eddie said that if Whyte beats Povetkin, he will try and make a Wilder Whyte fight later this year. Once those two cats are duking it out in their respective fights for the World's Heavyweight Championship, these two guys are going to duke it out for probably a #1 contendership in for 2022. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Well, it can't be. It could also be 2021 too, coming towards the end of the year. But I mean, if you're talking about them fighting like Anthony Joshua Fury, then that'd probably be 2022. But
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's
yeah. And I'm interested to see Andy Ruiz back in the ring too, man.
Yeah. With I think you could definitely see him. He could even fight, but I don't want him to fight Wilder straight away because I feel like that will plummet him down even more. I feel like he should fight with him and Adam Kaunaki, headlining on Fox, And that's another topic that I want to touch to you about. I don't know if we can do it today, if we have enough time, but something that's big, you know what I'm saying? It's more on the business side, more than, the media side of this entire situation. By the way, a fight with Adam Kaunaki and Andy Ruiz on Fox, that would be a tremendous fight. That could headline any. That's a main event in any arena. But that's a fight that I would like to see. But the Godfather, as much as I respect him, he put a fight card on Fox the other day, and he did about 700,000 ratings, 700,000 views, about 800,000, and I don't understand why, I don't understand, this is from...
Who fought?
I don't know. I can't remember. But this is what irritates me about it, right? Because when you're on Fox, you have to... I say this, when you're on network television, you have to present a pay-per-view level fight or pay-per-view level card to network television because they have a plethora of other choices that they can choose to deliver, to generate great advertising ratings, great viewership, to the masses. And you're on network television, you're on free TV, the millions of viewers that can come, and they have so much choices to pick. So if they're going to pick something from you, you have to make sure that what they're picking is of high quality so they can get those views. If you give that's why Fox Sports, all they can have is sports. You know what I'm saying? So they don't mind taking smaller cards that you're using to build up when you build up fighters, but don't give them a Fox Sports level card to go on Fox. You know what I'm saying? It frustrates me because it did when I seen the card. I can't remember, but people will know when I seen that card was announced. I knew that it was going to be a ratings catastrophe, and what was it? A ratings catastrophe. Oh, because for me, obviously, what I want to do? I want to be in the promotion business. So when I go to a network and say and negotiate for championship boxing, they're gonna say no because we took this fight and this is the ratings that we did. They're gonna say no, we took this fight and this is the ratings that we did. These were bad ratings. This was bad ratings. It wasn't bad ratings. It was just a bad fight. You know what I'm saying? It was just a fight that shouldn't have been there. There have been pay-per-view. There have been HBO fight cards that have done more ratings on premium cable than that fight did on Fox. And there have been pay-per-views that have done more numbers than that fight did on Fox. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
I was so frustrated.
I didn't even know there was a fight. So, and I live on this side of the world.
Yeah, exactly. I was so frustrated because then again, though, I hate to talk like this because I don't know the whole thing. I don't know everything that's happening behind the scenes. So they could have been, there could have been anything behind the scenes beyond the Don's control. But at the same time, it's indicative. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into this avenue too much, but it was just such a frustrating situation. You know what I'm saying? Because next time when someone else is trying to negotiate on national network television, they're gonna point to this fight. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man. Yo, you crazy, man. Go ahead and close this out, man.
You closing it out?
Yeah, I got it, man. Everybody, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Yo, this is your boy Cam and my man Dad. Yo, and we out, man. Peace out.